What's up, guys? I am back out here at the Crane Pond State Game Area and just out scouting around, checking off some more pins that I had dropped from doing my computer scouting and actually trying to get boots on the ground and see if any of this stuff is good. So I'm in a spot right now, and I was way farther down on the back end of this property, and I kind of assumed that was the good spot. But then I started walking over here, and all this timber right here is pretty open. And then on this side right here, you've got an easement, which I'm sure has decently moderately high grass in the summer, but right now it's pretty matted down. Prevailing wind is coming from my back down this way / this way, so it's a good setup already. The side hill is for bedding. And right away I started seeing some rubs. There's fresh tracks, and just the general sign density is much higher over on this side hill. The other things this little side hill has going for it is down here in the bottom, we've got cattails, and it's pretty dang marshy down there. So you've got a low area that they would want to skirt. And on top of that, we've got private, and we have a couple field lines that come down this direction. So if deer were to walk that line, which they typically walk edges, then this would be a very natural crossing point right here. Just to make things even a little bit better, right down here, we got these two ridges that kind of taper down. There's this hill, and then there's a hill down on that side, and they taper down right here into this little saddle that comes down and eventually meets up with those cattails down at the bottom. So that's a big track right there going in. This side hill trail right here just kind of continues along this hillside. So it cuts across here from the private, and then it's also running parallel to this easement. Out here is way more open, big timber. And then as you come down here to the edge of this hillside, this is all gets real thick. You can see some of these little flat areas. You can tell those are bedding spots. There's a lot of those right around on this hilltop. I don't know how well you can see, but this dirt's really, the deer was coming down at speed. A lot of these tracks that I'm finding some are walking tracks, but there's quite a bit of them that are running tracks. That's because if they bed up on this hillside, then they're gonna get a pretty good heads up if anybody's coming from public down this direction. So it's really great. It's really a good strategical spot for them. Now getting in here, if they're already in here, would be very tricky, but it's a great setup for the deer. Anytime you find a good setup for the deer, then if you can figure out a way to get at it, then it's usually not too bad. Right here, these are the dew claws. That's a hand's breadth. So that I know is a larger deer. So you can kind of just see the trail just because of the darker, wetter ground is causing it to stick out. But this whole thing, it's got pretty decent sized tracks on it. So we'll just keep following the side hill trail, see what we find. Look at this trail though. My gosh. Like, look at this thing. Just beat to the mud. It looks like it might split off a little bit here, but it just keeps running this hill. That's what you're looking for right there, guys. Well, I think this is the end of the line of what I can effectively scout. The public line kind of comes in on an angle and cuts me off, so I can't keep following the trail. Yeah, I can see the signs up there now. I was looking for them the whole time when I was back there, but I didn't see any, so I was just wondering maybe if they didn't mark this edge, but they did. So I was about 15 yards too far right there. All right, good to know. Head back to the car and keep looking. Well, I just want to show you guys something real quick. This is a great example of what I had marked on my maps. Down here is like this swamp. Right now it's more like a miniature lake. There's a field over there. But like most of the timber just looks like this. It's just very open, very vast, very big. There's not really any like thickets or clear cuts or bedding nearby. But you can't always tell that on the maps. And a lot of times you see a couple of these big bodies of water coming together. Then you're like, oh, pinch point. You walk into it and it's something like this. So spot number 2. I'm not even there yet. I'm probably, I'm getting there, 3/4 of the way there. But anyways, I already found a pinch point. I'll show you in a minute, but up here is like a ridge, top of a ridge flat, and it is stupid thick. Super good bedding for the deer. And then it drops off pretty steep over there. So they're clearly gonna be traveling / bedding up there. Then down here, what we got is some standing water, and it's probably, I don't know, like 35 yards long and about 15 yards wide. Nothing huge. And again, you gotta take this with weather in, relation to weather, because if it's dry, then the deer won't funnel around this quite as much as they are right now. Right there, big slide, prints, lots of tracks all the way right there. Tracks, bunch of tracks right there. And then you can kind of see it right here, but there's a trail that goes right through here. Lots of tracks, boom, boom, boom. And it's just skirting right around this little body of water. So, like I said, if you got rain, this would be a freaking killer pinch point. I would 100% sit this. All right, so I just hit a pretty substantial rub line. This side hill right here, see another one up there. I'm already really liking this setup, because I know there's going to be multiple setups in this general area, which will really help me, because if I get different winds or different weather conditions, I can still set up and hunt. Right now, this side hill trail coming right down here, the hill's going up like this. This trail goes right down, about 20 yards down there is that water hole that I just showed you the pinch point on. Right here, right through this. This is not public, we're on the edge of it right now, but over there is some stupid thick bedding. And I know for a fact that there's gonna be some big deer over there. So that's a big track. That's a 4-finger track. And there he is again. I wouldn't be surprised if I was pushing him out. There's a much better representation of this deer. That's most likely the deer I'm pushing out currently. You can see my hand next to this track. Those are his dew claws right there. That's his spread. He's almost edge to edge on 4 fingers. Honestly, this is amazing. Like, this spot is exceeding my expectations. And I can't say that about most spots. Right here, there's a cut that comes in. So I've got my main ridge tapers off. I've got kind of another ridge that comes in right here. When I was drone scouting this in the wintertime, I saw a doe entering from private kind of right in this general location. And just by looking at the ground, like, there's tracks everywhere, there's poop everywhere. I don't know what else to say, guys, other than this is an amazing spot. There's tons and tons of briars and ground growth, foliage for them to eat on. It's a high stem count. I'm staring at a pounded deer trail right here, just cutting in. So I'll be here this fall for sure. This is one of those spots that I think is just a good classic funnel. Everything's right in here. Yeah, this one was definitely worth the walk. Well, I did find a couple of stands, which, I mean, you can't look at as like a bad thing necessarily. If you just are trying to find areas that don't have any stands, well, good luck. It's Michigan, but I just found an opening and I was like, this is an odd opening. And sure enough, there's a stand, so I bet that they've probably been keeping this kind of cleared out for them. But this is another draw coming up out of this ridge system. I don't know if it's any good. The sign over here is not nearly as good as the sign I just walked by, but they do have a couple stands, so they either really know what they're doing, and this is probably a real good spot for them, and that's why they took the effort to lug the tree stands in, or who knows. But either way, I'll mark those two. Not only do they got a nice little opening, they got a nice little trail heading to their spots. So I'll keep this in mind in case I want a nice, quick, easy way in on the backside. Ooh, nice deer trail. right through there. Well, I thought I was done recording, but I just jumped 4 does, and just by looking to see where they ran, found another pinch point. Another big, nasty, standing body of water, and there's concentrated deer trails going down the one edge, and there's also a pretty good deer trail coming right out of here. So this would not be a bad spot to sit. I'm sure they were bedded right up there on that hill somewhere, or at least put a camera on it. I know sometimes when there's swamp and stuff everywhere, you're like, oh, this sucks, I hate standing bodies of water. Well, they can be really, really good. My gosh, guys, another one. I'm just following this deer trail. There's this humongous line of fallen tree, and it's pushing all the deer to skirt around it. Yet again, another good spot, if not to sit, to put a camera for sure. 100%. I mean, I'm looking at a good set of tracks right here in the dirt, so. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for this go around. Much better results than the last time. I was surprised how bad last time was. But just as a reminder, this is an actual spot on actual public land, so if you know where I'm at, I'd appreciate you not sharing or saying where it's at and stuff in the comments, just to help protect the hunters that hunt here, as well as me, as well as you if you end up finding the spot and you want to hunt it too. I do actually hunt the Crane Pond State Game Area a little bit, and yeah, it's not just a random spot that I hunt. I actually seen the biggest buck I've ever seen in my life in the state of Michigan, in the Crane Pond State Game Area, and I think I'm gonna have to actually pull the last episode of this next upcoming season because it makes it very obvious where I saw and shot at it, and if I air that, I'm pretty sure people are gonna know exactly where this buck likes to go hide out. I have yet to actually try and hunt him, so I want to at least get one season hunting that spot because it's so obscure, and like you'd never think a big buck would be there, and if you found out where it was and you realize that there's a big buck there, it would not take very much to go check it out and try to push it out or hunt them or whatever. So yeah, there's that. Anyways, nice comfortable day today. Great day to be out enjoying the weather, but hope you guys are too. So far I haven't pulled any ticks off of me, which is very good. Hopefully it's just not because they're all underneath my clothes buried in my skin. I sprayed down with some insect and tick repellent on my pants, so I'm wondering if that may have actually helped. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.